Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Rick Utzer here with Airgunweb, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. And today we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, starting with this, the Nomad II. All right guys, now before we get started, I'd like to say thank you to Pyramid Air for sponsoring Airgunweb in these videos. When you guys are looking to get your next air gun, your scope, compressor, bottle, all that kind of stuff, please be sure to do it at www.pyramidair.com and make sure you let them know that Rick sent you their way. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what we got going on here. First of all, I've got the Nomad II, and I talk a lot about compressors, and there's a good reason for that. Back when I started, if I wanted to get a compressor to fill my scuba tank, it was really a lot of money, $3,500, $4,500. It was very, very expensive. And then these other compressors started coming out on the market. The issue that you have with the cheap compressors, specifically the ones that you're going to buy off eBay or these other places, where's your support? You know, where is the phone number you call when you need help? Now, this is a very affordable compressor in the scheme of things. Right now, it's running about $800. And that may seem like a lot of money, but you have a company that's standing behind this. They understand what it is about customer service and having parts available and being able to talk to somebody when you're having questions on how to run it. That's super important, and that's what Air Venturi and Pyramid Air brings to the table here with the Nomad II. There are some of these other 12-volt compressors, and I've worked with some of them, and they all have their pluses and minuses. What I really love about this is just the package. It's all in one box. I don't have to have a bunch of other stuff that I'm trying to fumble around with to make this work. Comes in a case, everything stays right here in the case, which is very, very cool. Now, if I want to run off a 12-volt battery, I have a cable that does that. I just plug it in. If I want to run 110, I've got my plug, I've got my power cord. Again, all of that stuff goes right in the bag. It's always with you. It's super easy. Now, what I'm going to do right now is show you how easy it is for this to fill this gun. Now, this compressor is designed to direct fill your air guns. If you're a guy that's got 1 or 2 guns, you're shooting a couple times a week, you're not going out in the field hunting and needing it to take a tank with you, take air with you, then something like this is a great option. You don't need to spend $400, $500, $600, $700 on a tank and then a compressor. No, you can just get the compressor and it's going to top your gun off as much as you want to go shooting. That's what this is designed to do. So first thing we're going to do here is we are going to flip this around because our fill port is right here. Now, I'm going to run this on 12 volt. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and put some oil in this compressor. Right here on the front, you've got a little oil port. And it says to oil 2 or 3 drops every 5 fills. You know, stick to the manual, do what the manual says. In my environment, however, it's super, super dry. So I have found that I need to do it a little more often, but that's just me. Again, do what the manual says until you figure out that you may need to do otherwise. Okay, so you have a bleed port there. This is your fill hose. It comes with this filter and some extra filters to go with it. This plugs right in there. This is the Diana Skyhawk. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. It comes with a probe that already has a quick disconnect. So you put that in, and we're going to drop this right there. So the first noise you hear now, that is the power supply starting up. We're going to turn it on now, and then the cooling fans for the actual compressor are going to kick on. Okay, so that's the cooling fans activated. Now, I'm going to start the compressor. Now, I always start this with the bleeder off so that it's not immediately trying to make pressure. Let it sort of circulate a little bit, and then we'll turn the bleeder, we'll close the bleeder and start filling our gun. Okay, there's the compressor running. Give it a few seconds. Go ahead and close the bleeder. And we're going. All right, so we're making air right now. I'm gonna let this run. It's gonna shut off by itself. and then we'll move on to the next part of this video. Okay, we just shot off. I'm going to go ahead and power down the main fans. Okay, the power supply fan's still going. I'll go ahead and bleed this out. Okay. And disconnect it. And you hear the power shut down. So that's as simple as it is. If you know what pressure your gun takes, you set the auto shut off and let it run. This takes about a little less than 5 minutes to go from 150 bar to 250 bar. And granted, if I had a tank, that'd be a couple seconds, but if I had a hand pump, I'd be pumping for a whole lot longer than 5 minutes, and I'd be plumb wore out when I'm done. So if you're a guy that's got maybe 1 or 2 rifles, you're shooting on the weekends, you don't want to buy a tank and then have to deal with getting the tank filled or a big compressor to fill the tank, this guy right here is a great option. Everything all in one case, whether it's 12 volt, 110, you're good to go. Just a super reliable little compressor. Now, when I talk about reliable, this has worked really well for me. I've had this one for a while, and I use it quite a bit. When I'm out here doing this kind of filming or testing, I'll actually use this rather than a tank because my tank runs out of air. I got to go fire up the big compressor and fill it up. This, I can always just run over to this, top my gun off, and I'm good to go. That's really why I like it. There's a couple of these on the market I really like, and this is one of my favorites. So now let's move on to the Skyhawk. This is one of the things we wanted to talk about today. This guy I saw at SHOT Show. Flip this around here. There we go. I saw this at SHOT Show and I said, gosh, that is a really slick looking rifle. It's in a bullpup configuration, as you can see, and I think what really drew me to this is just how minimalistic it is. There's not a lot here that, you know, is all this whiz-bang stuff. It's just a very simple rifle. Now, on top of this, I've mounted the Hawk. This is the Air Max 30 side focus compact. And I've used this before in another rifle, and boy, for whatever reason, I love how this lines up on these bullpups. For me, it just has made the bullpup something that I want to go out and shoot, because prior to that, I personally struggled getting a scope that had the right eye relief, had the right rise, all of that kind of stuff, so I would be comfortable. This has made that like a thing of the past, and I really like this scope. I'm able to get right up on it like I need to, and it works great. So let's talk a little bit about performance here. When I saw this and looked at it and said, gosh, that looks really good, it feels really good, the price point's super aggressive, and it's regulated, what corners did they cut? I mean, how good is the regulator really? Well, come to find out, it's pretty doggone good. For this gun, it's shooting great. In fact, for most of the regulated guns I've shot, this is right up there. It's definitely going to hold its own. I got 48 shots before I stopped, and I noticed it was starting to fall off the reg at that point. At 48 shots, my extreme spread was 14. Standard deviation was 2.6. Now, take the last 2 shots out of that equation, my extreme spread drops to 9 feet per second across 46 shots. That's pretty good. Average velocity for this in the 25 force was 822 feet per second, which is about 38 and some change foot-pounds. Now, on the accuracy, as you guys can see today, it's pretty doggone windy, and I didn't want to try and shoot paper in these conditions because I just don't think the gun's going to show as good as it could, everything blowing around. I did go up to the heavy pellets, where they 33.95, and I shot at my little chicken silhouette at 50 yards, and it smacked it pretty doggone well. So I'm looking forward to when we have some better weather and I'll get some paper targets done with this. But I have no qualms that this thing's going to be a pretty doggone accurate gun. Even in these conditions, it actually performed pretty well for me. So the heavy pellets, they're shooting about 725, and at 725, you're at 39 foot-pounds. So a little bit slower, but because they're heavier, the energy is about the same. You're at 38.75 with the 25.4s, and you're like 39 and a fraction with the 33.95. So say 38, 39 foot-pounds is about where you're going to sit with this gun. For energy-wise, accuracy, it's probably easily a 75-yard gun in the right conditions. And when we have those conditions, we're going to circle back around and do another video. And the reason I can do that is this thing really did catch my eye, so much so I actually bought it. So this gun is mine, and I'm going to be doing some more with it because I really want to see what we can get out of a gun at this price point with these really, really neat features. I love the form factor. I love the weight. I love the stock. When I drop that Air Max Compact on this, for me, it just all of a sudden makes Bullpup something I want to go shoot. So I'm pretty excited about how all of this is coming together because it's actually pretty cool to me. Now, I was shooting for accuracy with the single shot tray, but it also comes with two 8-shot magazines. So if you want to shoot with a magazine, you've got that. If you want to shoot for, you know, ultimate precision, the most precision, you want to use a single shot tray, it includes that as well. The gun is really well put together. The trigger's decent. I haven't had to touch really anything on the gun, and it's just shot great for me. So let's recap here. If you're the casual shooter, you got a couple guns, you want to shoot, you know, over the weekend, that kind of thing, a personal compressor may be a better option than a tank. The tank, you got to go get it filled. This, well, this is your tank, really, and it tops your guns off pretty efficiently. You keep it oiled up as you need to, according to the manual, maybe a little bit more as I found in, you know, in my environment, but it just works. 5 minutes and I'm back to shooting. The Skyhawk, getting 48 shots before it's falling off the reg, really. Pretty doggone accurate, even in these conditions. Just super happy with it. This scope, the Hawk Compact, yeah, I'm coming to love this scope. I knew I would, seeing it at SHOT Show. You know, once I put my eye through it and held it, I said, yeah, this is going to be great for some of these air guns I have. And it certainly lived up to those expectations. All right, guys, so that's going to be it. My name is Rick Utzer here with Airgunweb, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. Thanks for watching.